Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple destined to be in love that loves reacting to some Destiny.
Yes, we do.
And today we're checking out Destiny Lightfall Part 3, all the cutscenes. And we're doing an extra cutscene that was not in the video that should have been beforehand. It's Osiris and Nimbus, and they're talking about the Strand. So might be able to give a little bit more context as why Osiris is so obsessed with it. Yeah, and then we'll go into the last part of this.
All right.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay.
A paracausal superposition? Like magnetic poles.
You've been busy. Well?
Just grunts in
For
size.
so long, we saw dark and light as antagonists. We believed we were the champions of the good because we wielded the light. If these are not moral forces, if they are not opposites, what are they? At its root, the Traveler is a terraformer, a gardener. It generates natural life, physical transformation at a molecular scale across whole planets. This should have been our first hint. The domain of the light is the domain of the physical. The darkness then is revealed in many facets. Dreams and nightmares, emotions, pain, memory.
All
The
things are parts of
nature
life.
Strand confirms this line of thinking. Darkness is something entirely apart from light. A paracausal union, conjoining intangible conscious realities, discursively linking to...
You're talking about the River of Souls.
River?
Yeah, it's a story we tell kids on Neptune.
A nursery rhyme.
Sort
Gotta play
of.
Carrion.
Since before
Try the boat
history,
and
there's been
lipsticks.
this raging river. In the story, some try to divert the river, others try to build a dam, but nothing stops it. Lots of people have believed that we either sink in the water or learn to swim.
Don't we?
See, that's the real wild part. We are the river.
And empowered by it, it would seem.
You know, I think I know of a place where we can find some of that power.
Okay, yeah, I'd say that was pretty important.
Yeah. And sure, and I understand. The light is the physical world, so it's the tangible.
Mhm.
And then the dark is the intangible, the unseen, the not physical or quantifiable. So like the dark is a huge realm, a huge swath of stuff.
Mm-hmm. They've only seen it as evil, though, because, I mean, you don't think of it as dreams. They saw it as nightmares instead of, like, just as dreams.
And when they said emotions, they highlighted pain. But, like,
yeah, exactly.
that is an emotion. That is a physical sensation.
Mhm.
But there is a whole lot more in the bucket of emotions than just that.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, the physical world is just like when you just think about life and whatnot, then you think of it does seem like it's positive. I mean, you know, life is great. Life is joy.
Danny Rojas.
Yeah. So there doesn't seem like, you know, a negative side to it, whereas like the darkness does have like it has both good and bad within it. It was a good cutscene. I'm glad we saw it, and now we're gonna move on to where we left off last time, which I think starts with another cutscene.
The other thing I will say is it makes sense as to why they can never sort of like win the war. They win battles, but they can never win the war because like you can never deny your emotions. Like that's always a losing strategy. You have to like reconcile with them. You have to come to terms with them, good and bad, but like you can't pretend they don't exist or label them as something to be fought.
Yeah, and like as sentient beings, I mean, like, you know, life for trees and plants and everything, and like for us, like the part of life that makes it worth, you know, living are the memories and the dreams and the emotions and everything going through it all. So you need the darkness as well, and it seems why like some people can wield the darkness and you can wield it for good, or you can wield the darkness and wield it for bad. So I mean, because it does have that. The darkness seems to have like the two sides of the coin within it.
Just like thought and emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Wield them for good and evil.
Of the wolf head.
Mm-hmm.
Quite engines, Nimbus.
Systems are latent, with 80% of defenses now operational. I'm full of fury, she's got an army, and you got magic green strength. Let's crush this callous guy.
We aren't ready for Callus. We don't even understand this erratic power at a foundational level.
It's time we figure it out. Keitel, we'll need your troops. Nimbus, charge up as many of the remaining turrets as you can, while Osiris helps me to untangle this strand.
Way to take charge. Ooh.
When we think about controlling something powerful, it's easy to assume it takes strength.
Revive him.
Determination. A force of will.
Yeah, Keitel's force will.
Mm-hmm.
Again.
But what I've learned is that we cannot control every facet of nature. Instead of tightening our grip, we must open our palms,
I like that.
accepting the ebb
Bless you.
Thank you.
and the flow.
Be the river.
Letting go in the face of grief. In all its shapes.
It's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
Through failure. Through loss. We can overcome the impossible.
Coming for you, Callus.
We stand at a precipice, both in our conflict with Callus and in our training with Strand.
But something is still missing.
And we will find it together. Perhaps inspiration will strike where we least expect
Yeah.
it.
Nice move.
Follow wherever Strand leads you. Let's experiment.
You don't want to go on your sparrow? Come on. There you go.
Much more fun.
No doubt preparing for a siege. We must take this time to prepare as well. The battle will be ours soon, but now is not the time.
Oh,
We
dick.
have never struggled harder against a greater evil, and yet we know now what Nimbus taught us. All products of the mind are conjoined in the darkness. Our obstacles and our goals are all contained within. In fact, they are the same. The same as us, the same as our enemies. What if, in trying to master this power, in trying to take control of this conflict, we've been swimming against the river's current?
There, more strand.
Question remains, how do you flow with the river? Brute force yields little progress, while careful execution paves a path towards a greater power.
Rohan would have said, headlong and empty-handed.
Perhaps our towering friend understood more about this power than even he knew. Think on it. When did you start seeing true success with Strand?
When we helped the Neomuni by rebooting the power station. What did that have to do with Strand?
Our perspective changed, as did our approach to fighting our battles. We took a step back, saw the broader whole, and moved in keeping with it.
So what? We flow with the river by planning better?
By seeing our obstacles as part of the bigger picture, and using the bigger picture to overcome them.
Guarding down.
Excellent! That was excellent!
Oh my god, that's the most excited I've ever heard him.
We're really onto something here, huh? What changed?
To properly observe phenomena of the light, one needs the right instruments.
And for darkness?
One needs the right perspective.
There you go.
I think we've found it. Seek out more Strand and see what this new perspective offers.
Even after all that, it seems the Guardian's energy is still stable. Is it possible the perspective shift was all we were missing?
Do not underestimate this moment. This is the product of humbling training, many failures, and your
And deaths.
determination. But you've not mastered this power until you can bring these lessons to bear under duress.
I think I know where this is going.
I have a challenge for you. The VexNet contains many pockets used for testing new subroutines. There is one very near you. Perfect to discover what you can really do with this power. Remember,
Flow the river.
well, what are you waiting for?
This was fun.
Yeah. Ah! Oh, I guess because we're going against the Vex. Like, we're back in, like, the Tron world, or, like...
The unfinished game.
Yeah, the unfinished game.
Good! Good! Embrace where the current takes you.
Sorry, I smoked a fat doobie, and he's just like, I understand. I get it all now. Just go flow. Flow with life. It's all about your perspective, man. It's awesome. Throw little strand balls.
I like how they're like, those two were interconnected by the strand a few times.
Here, take some strand. Okay, yeah. Because it's his training program. Alright.
I bet we could go again. What do you think, Guardian?
I hate to butt in on your enlightenment, but Shadow Legion are on the move.
Another time then. You've more than proven yourself. Kellis has no idea what's in store for him.
Good old-fashioned ass whooping.
Guardian, all of our training, all of our losses, it's brought us to this moment. We must stop Callis from reaching the Veil and establishing a link to the Traveler.
Final stand, baby.
It's the final countdown.
Orbital beam thing up and running. Might come in handy.
I would suggest exercising an abundance of caution around untested Ishtar technology.
I miss the old go in without a plan and hope for the best of Cyrus.
That is a gross mischaracterization.
Today shall be the end of Callus's reign. The Shadow Legion will submit, will be crushed beneath my heel.
Yeah, Cardinal.
All right.
And Guardian down.
Kaido's forces are entering Neomuni airspace now. Something's not right, though. They've set up anti-air guns in our city. Eradicate their weapons. I will not subject any more of my soldiers to such fruitless deaths.
Anti-air guns are neutralized.
My forces are rallying, but it will take some time.
You're almost at the Veil, Guardian. Every moment wasted brings us that much closer to Calamity.
So, this defense relay thing, taking a bit more work than I thought. It hasn't been turned on since the Ishtar days. Hope it still works.
With the Empress's Legion routed, it may be our last line of defense.
Sounds like someone's coming around to the untested Ishtar weapon. Almost ready. I think I got it. Whoa! Did you see that? Totally blended.
Keep the turrets under our control. They're vital to our defense. Enemy tanks are headed to your position.
That sounds like a job for untested Ishtar weapon. Paint the targets, Guardian. You tag them, I'll frag them.
Oh, getting faster. Nice. See you, tank.
Defense relays overheated.
There's no end to them. Osiris, what do we do?
Remember your training. You only have one goal. Keep them from the Veil.
Shadow Legion, coward. This is Empress Kayat, the true sovereign of the Cabal. You've chosen to ally yourself with a gutless traitor worshipping a false god. We are Cabal. We eat the mountains. We drink the seas. If any shred of honor left, then at least give us the pleasure of a worthy battle.
Kyla's such a badass.
Yeah, she is.
We eat the mountains, we
There's no
drink
end
the
to
sea.
Guardian, it's our day to die.
Sounds like a Viking when she talks like that.
Mhm.
In legend together.
We bathe in the blood of our enemies.
Retreat to higher ground. You need a more defensible position.
This way, Guardian. We'll safeguard the vault together.
Yeah, Empress Kyle. Fighting side by side. That's a lot of them. Holy crap.
Alice, what is...
What the hell just happened?
Guardian! Kyle! Are you okay?
The Veil's exposed. Keep them away from it, at all costs. Leave the Emperor to me.
You must reach
Time
the
to
Veil
smash your
before
dad's
the Shadow
face in.
Legion. Do whatever you must to prevent the link.
Will Kaido be okay?
I have a feeling she can take care of herself.
Empress Kaido is buying you time to find the Veil before the Shadow Legion. Don't squander this opportunity.
According to Neomuni lore, the Veil is deep beneath the ground. Like, way deep. Whatever you find in there, just keep going downward.
We're keeping an eye on the surface. Kaido's holding off Callus for now, but she's outnumbered.
Osiris, I'm sending you a visual feed. We could use your help navigating this place.
Incredible. Just like the archive on Venus. You should be able to access that Ishtar terminal like any other.
That must be the Veil. It's massive. I feel a little strange. Don't know how to describe it. It almost gives me the same feeling as the Traveler. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Let's press on.
Everything is one. So no matter, it's all in the same river, so.
For both our sakes, please don't fall.
Good advice.
Looks like the Veil goes even deeper.
Did you hear that sort of like growling sound?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if it was a growl, like I heard something weird.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Is this?
Looks like a Cloud Arc prototype. That's... wow.
Going down.
I held them off as long as I could. Callus is coming for you. It's in your hands now, Guardian. Give him
You got this.
the end he deserves.
Gladly. Kind of reminds me of one of those scenes in Alien, like when we were on the ship, like, and the aliens started like all like to come down.
yeah. Well, that's why when I heard that growl before, I was like, nobody's reacting to that, like, because I had that alien vibes. Like, there's something else on the spaceship.
There it is. Big dude. Shoot it. Oh.
Oh, this is not good. This is definitely not good.
Yep, stay on the outskirts. Still looking for Daddy's approval, huh? Oh, there's something. What the hell? He's turned into a tree.
A necrotic tree.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that is an image. Damn. The arrow in his head.
You say I respect the arrows in the head still.
Yeah.
Idle, we've done it. Callus is no more.
You gave him a Cabal's end. I will believe it when I see it for myself.
Take a picture, a selfie, and send it to you.
Do you guys feel that?
No clue what you're talking about.
Feels like victory.
We're almost at the veil. Hang tight.
It'd be nice to get to see Callus like this. Cinematic.
No more running away. Rest now.
I'd still smash him just to be safe.
The uglier they are, the harder they fall, right?
It's her dad, dude.
No? Come on.
A monster, yes, but still her father.
We finally found you.
Get your ghost,
What's wrong, Osiris?
Yeah, we finally found you.
get your ghost out of there!
Oh shit.
Reality takes shape.
It's creating the link.
Destroy it.
You destroy your own ghost? Oh. That is tough.
I don't think we did it in time.
No. Nimbus! Oof.
Rough landing.
What? What just happened?
You kind of just betrayed us all?
We just lost.
How to take control of you?
Zavala, come in.
Ooh. Wish he had the arrow sticking out of his head. There he is.
The universe makes us all victims. Every day. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
Cool light show.
Should I feel
Just a shrug.
humbled by this sacrifice? Relieved that it can't grant any more of our enemies the light? Lost? Without a God in whom I can place my trust? But what consumes me in this moment is the human loss. We've watched so many die for this war. And yet, those losses have given us insight and common bonds. We stand alongside more allies than ever before. Humans, Awoken, Elixni, even the Cabal. When I came to the last city, I looked up to the heavens for the hope the Traveler gave us.
Guardian, the Traveler is gone, but we're still here. It may seem small, but it's no less important under the circumstances. Despite your triumphs against the former Emperor, the Witness has transformed the Traveler and gone somewhere we cannot follow. Losses are no stranger to any of us. And I have long since known that the world does not obey laws of poetic justice. Much as we might hope otherwise. It would be easy to look at the sky and falter. We cannot. We must take the time we have and make these losses mean something.
Good job,
Neptune
Ikora.
is the best and only direction we have. Work with the Cloud Striders. Learn what you can about the Veil. A step at a time, an inch at a time. We keep going.
Hell yeah.
With or without the Traveler.
More determined than Zavala.
Yeah, I think Zavala was a bit more of a man of faith, so he's a little bit more lost right
And the
now.
Veil is safe for now. I don't really know what victory looks like going forward, but I'm not gonna take this win from us. From Neomuna. It's weird not being the rookie anymore. I'm just Cloudstrider Nimbus. Feels wrong. Like I jumped out a window without my board. There was confidence in knowing the buck stopped with someone else. For Rohan, when I met him at least, it seemed like he just took everything in stride. It was easy for him. I guess I'll get there someday.
Yeah.
We're having Rohan's induction into the Hall of Heroes in a bit. Will you join us? It'll be great. Quinn will say something stuffy, there'll be lots of cheering, maybe a whistle if you want to get spicy. But
Definitely want to get spicy.
I think he'd be honored if you were there.
Count on us being there, Nimbus.
I wanted to thank you for bringing an
let's crouch.
end to what was once my father. I wish we had a moment of respite to celebrate our victory. Greater strife lies ahead. I will prepare the Cabal for the Witness's machinations, and when it reveals itself, I will once more be standing by your side on the battlefield.
So if the Traveler's gone, does that mean the ghosts don't work anymore? Or since he created the ghosts still have light, but like they don't have an ending light? So like, I mean, can we only be like revived a certain amount of times? I mean, just a lot of questions that I have now that the Traveler's dead.
I love the juxtaposition between Zavala and Ikora in the aftermath of the death of the Traveler. Like I had said it during it, but Zavala just struck me as more of a man of faith. So like to see essentially his God fall, his faith shattered, seemed a bit more lost at sea. Whereas Ikora had such a practical approach, like, we're going to persevere. So without this, we have to pivot to this, and we're going to take it one day at a time. And like, she just had, it was good to see that, because Zavala has always been the commander with the answers, who's known what to do and who's sort of been very grounded in a rock for us. So to see him shaken makes it all more terrifying. But Ikora, to have that like very practical approach and that very steady determination at the same time is really reassuring.
Also, like, I don't know if other things are missing from this, but like, what happened to Nezarec? Like, he had there was like this introduction, and then there was nothing. I mean, imagine going forward, there's gonna be more Nezarec, but it just seemed like that wasn't really even like talked about again.
That's a good question.
Which I found odd. Nimbus is an interesting character, especially in this world. Just very, very different from other characters that we've seen. Interested to see in Hall of Heroes, like dealing with the death of Rohan and whatnot.
The other thing with Nimbus too that for whatever reason, I just can't wrap my head around is the design of his costume. Because like he's got armor here and he's got armor here. And I get that he's like in shape, but it just seems very odd to just show like this part of flesh.
Yeah.
Like if he were a girl, I'd be like, oh, it's the boob part. Like video gaming, okay, yeah, I figured boobs would be out. But it's a dude, so it's just like a very odd, like bare half chest for him. And I'm like, but you're also leaving like vital organs vulnerable. Like it's not serving a purpose. I don't understand why your costume is designed this way, which is a really silly thing. But for whatever reason, it keeps coming up in my brain. I just can't wrap my head around it.
I like the death for Callus. He wanted to be immortal and live a life of pleasure and of leisure. Now, okay, he gets to be, I don't know, a tree.
A dead tree.
Dead tree now forever. And like, but I was just curious on like, I didn't understand how that came to be. I don't know if you did.
No, like he was being shot with arrows.
Yeah.
It made me think of
Vox Machina?
Yes, I don't want to give anything away, but like just made me think of that. And I was like, so did it happen via arrow? I was like, but I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like the arrows did it for some reason.
Talking about Vox Machina season 3 with Keely and Vex in the arrow. So if you've seen it, you know what we're talking about now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was getting that same vibe, but I didn't really know exactly how that came to be. So like some information on that if you could help us out in the comments. Yeah, I mean, this season was all right. Not like one of my favorite seasons. Did like getting more Osiris in this season. He's just an interesting character. And like, I mean, in this one, like he was the most excited I've ever seen. He's always just so stoic and like a little bit melancholy at times as well. But this one is, oh my God, yes, you did it. Like he was like cheering us on and got all excited. Like I've never seen like heard him be happy before.
Yeah, that's true. Like at best, he's sort of like the wizened wizard on the sidelines, but actual joy has not been, doesn't feel readily accessible for him. I do want to know how they took over our ghost. Because like in that moment, they did such a good job with it, because as an audience member, like they've emphasized the weight and the seriousness of this moment if the connection is made. And like that's the end of the world feeling. So like when they're like, shoot the ghost. Even I, as an audience member, was like, yeah, shoot it, dude, hurry up. But it's Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And like when Ghost came to and was like, what happened? I realized Ghost doesn't have a face, but like they did such a good job with the movement of Ghost's pieces that I, as an audience member, got the sense of like realization and horror kind of coming across. Like, he didn't even say anything after that, but like I just got the sense of like he sort of knew something had happened and that he was involved. We love Ghost.
Yeah.
But the gravity of that moment being as serious as it was and them doing such a good job conveying that, even I was there going like, yeah, shoot him. Like, come on, buddy, do it. And then I was so bummed when he didn't get there in time. I was like, oh my God, the world's over.
Well, now imagine the tables are turned and Ghost is Bucky.
No.
And yeah,
No.
Exactly.
No.
That's what the Ghost is to him.
No. We don't play these imagination games. No.
So she would let the traveler die. She'd let the world end before she took you out, little buckaroo.
Of course I would.
Yeah.
Of course I would, little buckaroo. The world is doomed. It's totally doomed.
Fix me.
Today, we honor relentless Rohan, his service, his sacrifice. More than a protector of Neomuna, he was a true cloud strider. He cut his years short so that the whole of humanity may thrive far into the future.
Today we suffer, so tomorrow can live on.
It's not exactly a happy existence.
Mm-hmm. Gets turned into a PlayStation?
Yes. That is exactly what happened.
It's nice.
But you didn't think that's what the afterward was like.
Not in a creepy way. I've been tracking the war on city sensors.
I want to be a cloud strider now.
Terrifyingly competent. Anyway, this is where I'd usually show you around, maybe buy you a drink, but I got an eensy-weensy crisis. Let me just... What? No! Do not core dump! Dumb machine! Okay. Why don't you take a look around while I get to a good stopping point? Okay, so, remember when you stopped Callus, saved the city, and looked good doing it?
Mm-hmm.
When the witness made that connection after, it rebooted all our Cloud Arc security.
Yeah.
I guess the Vex noticed because they busted in here and blew up 5 of my memorial servers. The audacity, right? Each server is nano-constructed from a Cloud Strider's core drive and filled with all their logs and records. They're irreplaceable. It's not like the Vex are destroyed so randomly. There's got to be a connection, probably on those red servers.
It wasn't random.
But any data connecting these 5 Striders was in the servers they blew up. Long story short, your buddy Ghost has some sensors I've never seen before. So I thought maybe he could help me scrape the data. Just go take a look at those damaged memorials. See if you can pick up anything. Welcome, Neomuna, to the Hall of Heroes, where history lives on in you. The Earth author Peter S. Beagle once wrote, "There is no immortality but a tree's love. No one dies."
Nice. Guide it towards the museum.
So join me, City Archivist Quinn Ligari, as we learn about the great heroes who have made our impossible city a reality. Hi, I'm Quinn Ligari, City Archivist. It's my job to keep the past alive and help shape the future. With so much history lost to the first collapse, preserving humanity's knowledge is one of Neomuna's highest priorities. If we do not know who we have been, can we truly decide who we shall become? I hate those things. They made me re-record all my originals. Apparently, my take on history can be too sarcastic. Altruism, affinity, awareness. These aren't just the Cloud Strider ideals. They are the soul of Neomuna. Each of the memorials filling this room is a server dedicated to the life of a fallen hero, made from their own augmented systems. Every communication and journal detailing their noble sacrifice is available not only for future
Looks like it could be like a Las Vegas hotel.
The truest way to honor our
I can see
city's
that.
champions is by using their experience to improve ourselves. Here in the foyer of arrivals rests noble Rohan. This sacred space honors both the beauty and the grief in a hero's passing. Since lockdown, so much of our city lived vicariously through our champion, and so we feel his loss more keenly. Every Cloud Strider embraces mortality, but in the lives they save and deeds recounted, they are timeless. The seed of each plant thrives in soil enriched by fallen leaves. All they are, from inception to fruit, is an echo of who came before. The plants grown here in the Hall of Heroes are all reclaimed species, extinct on Earth and restored on Neomuna. They are memories of a lost homeworld, returned to life thanks to the safety and prosperity our champions provide. Every drop that falls eventually reaches its end, yet the river continues on. That lone drop is simply a shape the river takes for a time. The water within rejoins the flow and continues on. Those loved ones who pass remain a part of us, forever shaping who we are and who we become. The Pukas you see throughout the Hall of Heroes are attracted to the powerful emotions of visitors just like you. Over generations, they have acclimated to their human neighbors. Cloud Striders routinely use emotional support Pukas in training and therapy. They often select the friendliest chicks from those hatched right here, among their fallen predecessors. The founders came to Neptune in fear, desperate to survive the collapse. The Traveler had left gardens on many planets and moons, but on Neptune, they found a harsh frontier of floating continents and dangerous storms. Compassion, cooperation, and innovation allowed them to survive, just as they now allow us all.
Do the Striders have emotional support animals, or like those emotional support animals?
She was one of the city's
I
greatest
thought it
military
said
leaders.
chicks, like some sort of bird.
Yeah.
Occupation before she even became a Cloud Strider. Everybody loves him now, but back when Blue Jay was just Conrad Jane, the whole city hated his guts, did all kinds of illegal sim research. The Strider. She was the very first official Cloud Strider. Losing her records hurts the most. Stargazer. You probably wouldn't expect a mathematician to be a great Cloud Strider, but I hear your Ikora Ray is kind of a nerd too.
And she's a badass.
Siegebreaker. Telluride Magsy. He converted in the middle of the 20-year siege, and he ended it. But Vex captured his mentor, Puck. Magsy rescued Puck, but by then, the bots had stripped secrets from his brain. Old man couldn't handle the guilt. Took risks. Got hurt.
That's awful. And eerily similar to what Osiris went through. I wonder if Rohan learned how to counsel Osiris from...
Okay then.
Strand, what's happening?
You recreated the memorial. Nimbus said your strand power could make things, but I didn't think they meant like this.
Neither did we. I guess Neomuna's emotional connection to their heroes is strong enough to anchor this strand creation permanently.
I've read some academic studies on veil transcription of the collective unconscious. I bet if I put you in cryo, I could...
Quinn, maybe we should focus on the Vex for now.
Yeah, don't...
Why they attacked and if they're coming back.
Yeah, I guess you're probably more useful not frozen.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now?
We can figure out why the Vex broke in.
Hi, Quinn. I don't trust you anymore.
Built a data crawler app to scour Siegebreaker's database for mentions of the other 4 Cloud Striders targeted in that Vex attack. He references Stargazer and some kind of secret number-crunching algorithm. No context. So I need you to restore Stargazer's records. All you need to do is sort of vibe with Stargazer, the city's most famous explorer.
Hey, Ligari, how are things holding up over there? Heard the hall got hit.
Got any Sid to Sydney?
That's fine-ish. No load-bearing damage, and the rest is taken care of. A little unorthodox, but we're good.
You sure? I can take a look.
I'm sure. Save your resources for the more vital infrastructure. We'll have a bad time, a worse time if the farms go.
You let me know if that changes. Might not be as immediate as the siege, but our history's worth keeping safe.
That's why you're my favorite, Sid.
Ah, you say that to everyone.
And I mean it to everyone.
Intolerable.
What draws the Emperor's
Yay, Kyle and
desire
Osiris,
now?
two people I actually know.
Soldiers callous sends. While some of these may be the mindless clones you saw on the Leviathan, many more are deserters and traitors. Those who have forgotten what it means to be Cabal.
That still troubles you? This is not a new state of affairs.
No, but it is more than that. It is the further division of a people. It is destruction from within, by our own hands. Once I was hungry for the glory of battle. Even now I have never turned away from a necessary fight. But I see only foolishness here.
The time when this fight could have been avoided is long past.
I know. This is not reluctance. Only regret.
Oh.
Oh, hey, Guardian. Induction ceremony wrap up all right? The citizens did a good job improvising. Traditionally, both Cloud Striders are there for the final handoff, but Rohan wasn't here, so...
Yeah, we know. We saw him die.
And if he were, he wouldn't be moaning about the past.
Exactly.
He'd be too busy cracking open the veil, jumping through the portal, and knocking the witness back on its multiple asses. You know, the Vex were working on a copycat veil. Oh yeah, Rohan stumbled on it in the Nexus years ago. It was half finished then, but he was convinced that the Vex had the goods on the original. Goods we'd need one day. Just think! We wrestle the Veil's secrets out of the Vex and we're one step closer to kicking down the witness's door. But first, we gotta track down Rohan's notes. So, what do you say? Help me follow in the big guy's footsteps?
With Neomuna Civil News, this is Jisoo Colorado coming to you live. We're reaching out to a Vanguard operative within our fair city. Mr. Ghost, can you hear me?
Hello?
This guy like a newscaster or like radio DJ?
Can you tell us more about your relationship with your Guardian? What role do you play in defense operations?
We don't talk to the press.
You're that news reporter.
No comment.
You access this channel.
They picked the perfect voice.
Yeah, they did.
Yourself a representative of the Vanguard or the Traveler itself?
I don't. Please talk to Osiris. I suppose if we're going to keep saving the world over and over, we'll need to get used to talking to the press. Eventually.
I like just swinging the strand around.
Welcome to Neomuna Civil News. I'm Jisoo Colorado. Authorities have
And the
questioned
name
the
too.
connection between the entity
Jisoo Colorado just sounds like a newscaster name.
a client species of the Cabal Empire. Ethnographers note recurring motifs in Scion art and ritual, as well as the potent psychic abilities exhibited by both parties.
Toyota Corolla GTS?
Check this out.
Whoa. Mithrax!
It's open to you.
Nice.
You did not splice your way inside. How is this possible? You enter the digitized core of the Vex network. You are in great danger. And yet, I detect a faint signal deep within. Asking, no, demanding that you explore further.
In the computer world. The Matrix.
The signal comes from the radial area flowing around us. Truly, through the entire Vex network itself. It is not a voice, only minute fluctuations in the radiolarian microlattice. If it speaks again, I will attempt to translate. It is as though the network is testing you. block your path. The hostile Vex and the network itself are at odds. This is most unusual. They should be in perfect alignment. The signal that beckons you. If I am interpreting it correctly, it calls out for assistance. No, that is incorrect. The signal is unclear, but quite persistent.
I don't know about the Elixir, but Mithrax kind of sounds like Spider right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear that too.
I'm relieved you survived. No whole forbidden data meant for deletion. The signal cries out. This data is what it desires.
It sounds like Spider doing an impersonation of Mithrax.
Guardian, this voice in the system, when it speaks...
Oh, you just got pushed out. Ah, Guardian down!
But there is also incredible pain. Suffering deeper than I thought possible.
I'm glad we're not the only ones getting one by that. Those kind of things.
Yep.
Carefully across the shifting network, Guardian. A powerful Vex mind lurks ahead. A terrible destroyer created to purge the system. The signal hides itself away in the network, but you must prepare to fight.
Jedi Fallen Order, that's what it was.
The Vex mind draws near.
That like had the things that like pushed out like that.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think. I'm like, maybe there's been a ton of games, but like, I was thinking specifically of one.
Hey, friends! Any updates? I got Osiris to help with the decoding, and to tell you the truth, he's getting on my nerves. He keeps asking how I'm doing, giving me these weird looks like I don't even know what.
You won't have to endure it much longer. We just got a lock on the last data packet. It's... looks like it's inside a conflux.
Oh yeah, Rohan was always tinkering with those things. I thought he was mining for lasers to stick in his gun. Too risky. Since when were you scared of a little risk?
The Black Garden does not contain a little risk. As for this second veil, to the Vex of the Soul Divisive, it was the Black Heart.
Who cares what it's called? It's our chance to follow the witness.
Except it was destroyed years ago. Nimbus. I understand how grief can make one behave recklessly.
Yeah, Nimbus is huge.
But you can't...
Cloud Striders don't grieve. Death is just part of the flow.
Ah, Guardian.
So you're in denial.
Perhaps you can convince our friend that the Black Heart is a dead end.
Hang on. If that heart thing was the same thing as the veil, then its blueprint can be our guide to the real thing. Come on. All we gotta do is follow Rohan's instructions. He's never steered us wrong before.
You're right. It's at least worth a closer look. But please, let the Guardian handle the groundwork. This city can't afford to lose another Cloud Strider.
All I heard was you're right, so let's get cracking! I'll send you a list of what we need.
I think Osiris needs to work on his communication. I understand how grief can make some people behave.
Force inside, Guardian, and lots of utility access. We
Condescending.
should find out if this building is critical infrastructure. Sam, are you on comms?
That's how he behaved when he was grieving
We
his
have
ghost.
Vex fortifying in a large structure on the waterfront.
Let me just find you on the security feeds, and... Whoa! Are you in the Thrilladrome? I missed that place! It was
Yeah,
the
bro.
premier destination for extreme esports.
It's what?
Huh?
Like video games?
Yeah, but extreme. Like, you die.
Esports.
So like Matrix.
Sam, there's
Yeah.
a Vex portal accessing the building's mainframe.
Oh, that's super bad. The drone's got Cloud Arc root access to help it crunch cycles.
It what? We've got to get in there and stop it, Guardian. An entertainment building with a back door into the city network. Makes me wonder what blind spots we have in the last city's defenses. That's That's the last item on the list, and it's a powerful one. We should hurry back to Nimbus.
I wouldn't rush. They're not in the best of moods at the moment. I reminded them that, however broadly they'd like to interpret the Cloudstrider's oath, their duties lie squarely on Neomuna, not in the Witness's playground.
So you convinced them to follow the rules? That doesn't sound like you.
Exactly.
Or Nimbus.
I have learned from my mistakes, you know. And I can see when someone is about to repeat them. Nimbus may think they're after the Black Heart's blueprint, but really, they want a distraction from their grief.
How'd they take it when you said that?
They weren't a fan of the suggestion, but they agreed to make the passkey and let you finish the job.
We're in.
Good. Any sign of the Soul Divisive?
Not a Vex in sight. You should be proud, Nimbus. Rohan's passkey worked perfectly. I guess they're still hurt over missing out on the action.
All the more reason for them to stay out of the garden. It has a way of amplifying such emotions till they blot out all reason. So, quickly and quietly now. Find the conceptual mind, grab its memory core, and get out.
Roger that.
Doesn't it feel like we were like in the Emerald City or something?
Yeah.
Focus on
I
getting
just like
past
looking
them
for the
now.
yellow brick road.
We can dwell on the how later.
Made it through. Though I still don't understand how that happened.
I haven't even seen the
Unless
show.
we tripped
I
an
know.
alarm on the way in.
That's why I'm really proud.
It's possible. Perhaps Rohan's passkey had a flaw we didn't see.
But why not attack where we portaled in? Why let us get so far?
Are you suggesting someone else tipped off the Soul Divisive?
It's
Maybe.
possible.
It's also disappointing.
Slowly
Still
going
should
down.
ask.
Okay. Oh my god.
I'll go check on Nimbus.
Looks like someone beat
I'll
us
be-
to the next security.
That didn't get me as many times as like when we're falling down like an elevator shaft. And it's like those always make me
You owe it to Rohan
Feel
to
it a
do
little.
your duty as a Cloudstrider.
Like you know what it means to be a Cloudstrider.
He knows what it means to be a guardian.
Nimbus,
Have a sense of
how
duty.
did you even get in without a passkey?
You know that conflict you found back on Neomuna?
clearly wasn't looking for the common ground.
We're meant for more than just a light show.
Taken? What are the Taken doing here?
Nothing good.
But they're slowing me down over here.
Be careful. If the Taken are there, you're in for an even tougher fight than we expected. I suspect the Taken have been sent to do what the Soul Divisive refused to cover the Witness's tracks. Completely.
They're here for the conceptual mind.
Clearly, its knowledge presents a real threat to the Witness's plans. We need that memory core.
Nimbus, wait!
No time to lose. Last one to the conceptual mind is a disappointment to Rohan's legacy.
As if they needed more cores to act rashly. Guardian, you have to catch up with them before it's too late.
Working on it.
Nimbus, I know you feel you have to do this for Rohan's sake, but
Rohan is dead. I can't do anything for him anymore. Except live up to what he taught me. A Cloudstrider does whatever it takes to keep Neomuna safe. We don't hesitate in the face of danger. We don't let pain stop us. We let it remind us that...
You're still breathing, still fighting. Yes, I know. You shouldn't let pain stop you. But you can't let it propel you either.
There you go.
Trust me. That path only leads to more pain.
Cyrus dropping wisdom bombs left and right.
Cloudstrider tech, all right. Rohan probably ran right past this spot when he... Looking at this, all I can think of is how Rohan didn't need weapons or fancy mods. Sure, he liked his gear, but he didn't need all that to defend our city. To
Big
do
set of
his
brass
duty
balls.
as a Cloudstrider. Which is what I should be doing right now. You take it. Use it to get the blueprint. Meet me back in Neomuna when you're done, okay?
Thank you.
You have a very asleep doodle on your lap.
Osiris, we caught up with Nimbus. They're on their way back to Neomuna.
You convinced them? Well done, Guardian. Must be your way with words. But you'll need more than that if you're to reach the conceptual mind before the Taken. Don't forget what you're here for.
We're on the move.
How come you don't talk nice to us like you do Nimbus?
The Taken are pulling ahead. Time to really let loose, Guardian. We can't let them destroy the conceptual mind. At least not until we get its memory core. There's the conceptual mind, and its failed creation. Or its god. Huh. I never really thought about that before. What kind of beings create their own god? And it's not even original.
Happens more than you think. Something to ponder after the memory core is safely in hand.
Right. Focus up, Guardian. Conceptual mind is down for the count. Looks like the Taken have all cleared out. Why aren't they fighting us for the memory core?
I'm sure they were merely told to destroy the Black Heart's architect. I doubt they were aware its knowledge is the true threat.
You really think this blueprint will help us with the Veil? After all, if the Black Heart was meant to be a copy of the Veil, it didn't exactly succeed.
True. But even studying the failed attempt can lead to useful information. We won't know for certain until we open up the memory core, which will take some time, so hurry back. Besides, I'm sure our friend Nimbus could stand to hear some good news right about now.
Absolutely. On our way.
You got the goods. Osiris rallied a team of researchers while you were out. They've been itching to get their mitts on this. I knew you'd get the job done. Seriously, I don't want you to think I charged in there because I didn't trust you. I guess I was just after something else. Something you can't find in the Black Garden. Or anywhere else. I thought I had accepted death. That's part of the whole Cloudstrider deal, you know? Our
Accepting your death.
Our sacrifice. I'm not afraid of dying.
Exactly.
Really. But I never considered what it'd be like to keep fighting when...
Yeah.
And I know this pain is to remind me that I'm still breathing, but how can I when there's this giant hole where a person used to be? He didn't prepare me for this part. At least now I get why Osiris is the way that he is. I owe him an apology. And I owe you my thanks, Guardian. Thank you for everything. When you said you understood, I never asked why.
She saved me. As she always did. Throughout all the lives we shared, she was always my better. Just before she told me, don't lose hope in the darkness. She must have known what I'd find here.
What was her name?
Sagira. As reckless as it was, I hope the Black Garden helped Nimbus navigate their pain. Perhaps even find peace. I suppose I should have expected Ikora to recover any pieces she could of Sagira, to give me that same opportunity. There are still mysteries to be solved and a trail to uncover. Our assistance here must continue. I will keep a watchful eye on Neomuna, but for now I must depart. This seems a good time to return home, to those we love. We will likely need each other for what's to come, Guardian. Now more than ever.
Get some love, say 14. Another one stored.
How to describe? Algorithm is inaccurate, but acceptable shorthand. It's an occlusion. In a way, perhaps, but if we ride along the edge... Accelerated processing, gravitational lensing as applied to data.
I found Stargazer's algorithm in the data you recovered. Except it's not an algorithm. They called it the occlusion. Love this stuff. My data crawler also pulled some old library records showing who else accessed Stargazer's archive back in the day. Maelstrom. She was the greatest military mind in history, and she's one of our smashed servers. It can't be a coincidence. If this occlusion spooked the Vex, maybe Maelstrom kept a backup of it on her server. She was a warrior, so go start some fights.
Yeah. More crazy hair.
You just have like this one that wants to keep like helping out.
But I don't like anyone standing behind me, whether they've got a knife or not. So the question is, tear it out and let the whole network fall apart? You leave it in, and maybe things get a whole lot worse.
My data crawler's running hot. Maelstrom accessed the
Hey, put on
occlusion a lot.
subtitles.
She called it a simulation echo, but it's not a saved file. It's hidden code in the Cloud Arc. She found it in Cloud Strider Blue Jay's notes, so, kind of need his archive restored. Blue Jay was a tech genius, rebuilt the Cloud Arc into a virtual world. He also built most of our modern computer defenses, which means security. Security access is the bane of my archival career. This is outside my clearance, but Nimbus could help.
You are whole again.
It's the shadow of every story and memory and hope we brought with us. The stars are off limits, but the veil knits an entire universe for us.
Is he an actor off Broadway?
Just had to
Does
embrace
it sound like he's like in a
So it
theater?
turns out,
Yeah.
Blue Jay found the occlusion from the first Strider's records. I've got a bigger issue for you, though. My occlusion data crawler accidentally expanded to scan Shadow Legion radio chatter. It returned a hit. The Cabal discovered a new Vex operation looking for the occlusion and ordered their troops to steer clear. So the Vex aren't afraid of the occlusion. They want it, and they're tunneling into the Cloud Arc to find it. It all comes back to the first Strider. I need you to restore her memorial. Guess you could have seen that coming, huh? She was a legendary warrior, so you need to go over the top defending the city. Now, keep your eyes open. Shadow Legion troops might be carrying more telemetry about this Vex mission.
Looks like this goes all the way inside the ship. I'm going to send some of this telemetry to the Empress. She might be able to tell us something about what the Cabal here are doing.
You are pressing further into the Shadow Legion's territory, I see.
It's not like other Cabal ships we've been inside.
It wouldn't be. Callus has abandoned much of what made us Cabal. Still, there may be worthwhile intelligence. What is the Earth idiom? Through a mirror?
Empress?
Callus forbade the right of probing, bureaucratically. An ancient tradition dying by inches. This suggests it's as if the soldiers here have tried to reconstruct that right, but have forgotten why it began.
Fighting just to fight.
Perhaps fighting only because the fight is forbidden.
Sure we did much that they weren't already doing to each other.
If they are Cabal at all, it will matter that an outsider triumphed over them. And if they are not, then at least you have thinned their numbers.
That's true. Every little victory stacks up, right?
Every part of the military campaign depends on every other part. Keep me informed on this area.
Looks like you've been busy. Let's see what the Shadow Legion knows about the Vex operation. Huh. I must have translated something wrong. Because this says the Vex are trying to reach a Vex mine stuck in the Cloud Arc. It's not an attack for them.
Doesn't sound good.
It's a rescue mission. But the occlusion's been in there for centuries. It's Load-bearing? It can't be a Vex mine. The first Cloud Strider found it. She wouldn't keep something like that a secret.
Maybe we're ready to find out. Because if she did, she'd be having a crisis of faith, just like we're having.
Oh, it's okay. I'll keep you safe. Just rest. It doesn't sound like Strider was talking to a Vex.
It sounded like she was talking to a child. A scared child.
You're telling me the occlusion is a Vex mine? But what? It's a baby?
Yeah.
A baby that wants to hide from the rest of the Vex?
Also sounded like the witch and the gingerbread were trying to lure them in.
Would be the perfect place to hide. The Vex only noticed it when all your security reset.
I'm getting a fix on this Vex tunneling operation. Put a stop to it. We'll figure out the rest later. Never thought I'd help save a Vex. Of course, I never thought I'd work with a smoking hot Earth warlord either. Interesting times. The occlusion is still... asleep isn't the right word, but basically asleep. I think it just likes the quiet. It's buried too deep in the network to just yank out, so for now, I guess we just let it sleep. I'll let Nimbus and the City Council figure out what to do. Nimbus says you like weapons, and as Chief Archivist, I have access to some fun artifacts in the vault. Don't put your eye out.
Don't poke your eye out? She had BB guns?
Is our newest foray into darkness.
Red Rider?
As I understand it now, it is the elemental manifestation of psychic connection. All minds are connected in a web of consciousness, which we can now see and feel. To wield Strand is to pull on the hidden connecting threads and to use them to create, manipulate, and unravel. I had assumed this element would behave similar to our other darkness ability. But unlike stasis, mastering Strand seems to require one to relinquish control, to embrace the connecting threads and perhaps flow with them. I look forward to experimenting more with this new element. Solar requires us to both exploit and rely on the power of our sun. But to master it is to understand the star's duality. The nuclear force that scorches anything foolish enough to draw near is the same force we harness to heal. It feeds the flora of our galaxy, just as it begets drought and famine. Destruction and recreation are a necessary cycle. Stasis is the element of will and control. It slows, detains, and shatters. It was our first step into darkness and taught us the universe is not as black and white as it first seemed. Elsie Bray and Eris Morn have slightly different interpretations of how one masters this element. Fitting, as stasis thrives on individual will, but merging their thoughts gives me this. Control over the self can foster control over others, but without power over the self, destruction runs wild. When we wield stasis, we must exercise the ultimate authority over both self and others. Arc is the element of motion and conduction, and is created when the electromagnetic forces of our universe struggle to achieve balance. According to Ikora, Arc teaches us that change is a fundamental aspect of the universe. To wield it is to ride the storm of the unguessable. Void is the element of cosmic distortion. It is the pull of gravity and the promise of entropy. The vacuum of space and the gravitational forces that shape it teach us that emptiness is not nothingness. In Ikora's words, to wield void is to draw strength from both the immeasurably small and the unfathomably massive. With it, we bend the very fabric of space-time. Thank you for assisting me in this fact-finding mission, Guardian. There is much to uncover about the Veil, and your work here is indispensable.
All right. I like that little bit at the end there. Talking about the different, like, I don't know, like elements, I guess, out there, and like what it takes to kind of like wield them. And also really liked, I don't know, just Osiris trying to talk Nimbus through his grief.
I also like how Nimbus kind of came to this realization of like the evolution of our relationship with death, because it changes, right? When we're children, we don't think we can die. Like that's the amazing thing about kids is like they do the most insane things because the idea of death is for old people and they're so far from that. It's inconceivable. I mean, like how many of us injured ourselves trying to fly and be Peter Pan as children? Like I jumped off of tons of things I should not have jumped off of.
So many licked forks put in sockets. Just
oh God. Different childhoods. Very different childhoods. But then, you know, like the older you get and the more experience in life you have, the more the realization of death is there. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like hopefully we all get to kind of like live to a ripe old age, at which point we are very welcoming of death because we've lived a good life and our bodies are done and we're done too. But that's not how everybody gets to go. And so the realization of our mortality shifts, and it can be something that we come to terms with. Like, I know I'm going to die and there's no way out alive. So, okay, fine. Thinking of somebody else dying is a lot tougher. And Nimbus kind of had that realization of like, I accepted death ages ago. Death is fine. Death is here. Yeah, you accepted yours.
Exactly.
It's really different from accepting somebody else's. Just like maybe you accept that your parents will die before you because like that's the general order of things. Doesn't mean you've accepted your death or the death of a spouse or a sibling or God forbid a child. Like those are all very different relationships and we all hopefully won't experience all of them, but they still exist.
Yeah, and that's why I think that like it kind of highlighted the bravery and the courage that it takes to join the military and like armed services and defend your country and things like, yeah, it takes bravery to put yourself in the line of duty and put your own life on the line. Same thing with like firefighters and cops and like, just so many different people. But it's also incredibly brave because losing that's something that Nimbus talked about that I think that doesn't always go into people's head is the loss of your friends and your teammates and your partners and going into there and losing one of them. Like you said, he's ready for his own death. He accepted it. When you enter that, you have a 10-year lifespan. That's it. So you go in there knowing that, but you don't think about like the death that's going to like surround you while doing that. So it was very, it was a very poignant, moment from Nimbus when he said that. It was just like, wow, I mean, that's why it's so great. Like checking this stuff out and people just talk about, I don't know, video games and like kid stuff. And like, I don't know, it's just, yeah. It's like it's evolved so much over the years, and there's just like stuff like this, like such like juicy philosophical nuggets in there.
Well, you were also talking about like the military, which one of the things that popped out in my brain was that line, and I commented on it at the time, but like I'm going to paraphrase it, but essentially like we suffer today so tomorrow can exist.
Yeah.
And that really to me rang true of like military service, like when you think of revolutionary fighters in 1700s, like they fought for America then and died so that the America that we know today could exist. Like it was all on that promise. But also to what you were talking about in terms of the loss of yourself versus others, made me really think of military spouses. Because the people who go into battle always get hailed as heroes, right? And not that they shouldn't be. Of course they should. But like the spouses, they signed on to be with this person who's putting themselves actively in harm's way, whether that is military, fire, police, whatever. Like that is a hard pill to swallow. And also to some extent, you might not totally have a choice with it because like you fell in love with them and damn it, that's the person you fell in love with. So I think they aren't necessarily on the front lines in the same way and don't necessarily get the same praise and aren't revered to the same extent. But in a lot of ways, they are just as much there because like they've literally allowed their heart to go out on the front line, whatever that front line might be.
That's true. Just as brave. Yeah. That's really well said, and also just very important because it's what people are fighting for. It's they're fighting for their loved ones back home, and their loved ones when they go out or whatever. That's and like just also having that then probably having that empathy and being when you're going to fire, I'm going to save somebody else's loved one. I know that's what that's like. So. Yeah, you make a really good point. There are a lot of jobs that I cannot do.
Yeah, I have a list for him.
Bethany's like, yeah. We'll watch it. She's like, no, you can't be a cop. No, you can't be a firefighter. No,
Yep.
Not that I was itching to do any of those jobs, but it's just.
But I say him nonetheless.
Yeah,
I
she
just
still
make sure
reminds
it's
me.
known.
She just reminds me just in case.
He can't go be Jack Bauer from 24. That's off the list.
This is true.
Not
This is
allowed.
true. Yeah, and so that's why we're doing this is because I'm not allowed to leave the house. So I'm all right, I can't leave the house and do anything.
Yeah. There are worse jobs. I also really want to shout out Osiris's comment that he made about, before he went into the different things like the void and whatnot, he talked about authority and the need for ultimate authority over yourself and others if you wield any of these things. And it made me think of leadership. A true leader, a good leader, has to have authority over themselves first and then use that for authority and influence with others. You should be worthy of leading them because you have control over yourself and your emotions and your thoughts and your desire for, you need to be in charge of your better angels and better demons, because if you give in to the better demons, you're not worthy of leadership. So when he made that comment, and it started first with authority over oneself, I just couldn't help but think of that's what it takes to be a leader. To wield power, you have to have authority over yourself, and then hopefully you use that to the betterment of others and their lives.
I got you on Overwatch. Let's get to work.
This Vex data is intriguing. It seems as though they're trying to access servers not currently connected to the Cloud Ark.
Do we even have systems that aren't connected? That's weird. Does it say where they're digging?
Not yet, no. We need a few more data points. Guardian, let's get moving.
What have we got?
Interesting. The Vex have been attempting to breach an air gap firewall in the old Ishtar Collective systems at Veil Containment. My initial investigation indicated those systems had been wiped in some sort of electromagnetic event. But perhaps in our haste, we overlooked something. Let us go discover what the Vex have been after.
Nothing good.
Ever since we defeated Callus, I've been wondering a lot more about the Veil. I think we take it for granted. It's always been here. We always assumed that the Ishtar Collective brought it with them on the Exodus ship,
But now you question that assumption.
Nezarek seemed to know something, didn't he? When we were inside the Vex network, he said something about Savathun.
My memories cast shadows of Savathuns. Echoes of the time she and I were bound by her dark magic. The more time we spend here, the clearer the outline of those shadows become. The Ishtar Collective didn't bring the Veil here, Nimbus. Savathun stole it from the Witness and left it here. Quite possibly for the Ishtar Collective to find.
Why? Why would she do that? Isn't she our enemy?
She is. And yet at times,
She was a Travis fan.
she is our ally.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
When it is convenient to her.
Exactly.
And in that convenience, we find common ground. Or as a friend once said, the line between light and dark is very thin.
I kinda hate that.
As do I. Excellent. That terminal is functional. I've sent a data mining application to your Ghost. Upload it and let's see what we can find.
Gioma Essie. Personal log. Incidental. Maya arrived yesterday with the Exodus Indigo. I should be relieved, but in light of the current situation, I don't feel much of anything. We're presently en route from Hyperion to the terraformed surface of Neptune. I'm scared. I'm so scared. We don't even know what we've lost. Comms are dead. It's just silence everywhere. We might be all that's left. Maya was right about everything. The cult, the end, how we'll survive. I hate this.
Chioma Essie was one of the founders of Neomuna. There's a part of the city named after her. This is like hearing a legend.
I knew of Chioma Essie and her wife, Maya Sandarish. They were Ishtar Collective researchers on Venus during the Golden Age.
Is this all there is? The one log?
No. There's an entire archive here. It could be the key to unraveling the mystery of the Veil.
Listen to every single one.
Short, but we've got incoming. There's tankets popping up all over the courtyard and... Tormentor! There's a Tormentor heading into the facility.
Guardian, neutralize the Tormentor. We can't lose this data.
Exterior's all clear. How you doing down there?
The Tormentor is defeated and the area is secure. However, the remainder of Dr. Essie's logs are encrypted. She's using an adaptive Vex algorithm to protect them. It will take me several days to break through. Whatever this is, it must be valuable. Guardian, I recommend you check back here later to see what we've uncovered.
Chioma Essie, research log, the Veil. I don't even know where to start. When we landed on Neptune, there was something waiting for us. An alien structure. It's an electromagnetic anomaly. No mass, but a tangible surface area. It's like a thesis statement to the von Neumann-Wigner hypothesis. It's definitely paracausal, like the Traveler. Maya calls it the Veil. She says she heard the name in a whisper when she looked at it. When I asked her who whispered, she said it was her own voice. I still
creepy.
haven't had time to process that. Everyone on the initial survey team died. The minute they touched the object, they entered a state of brain death.
Catatonic.
All of them.
That's
To
scary.
make it worse, the EM radiation emitting from the Veil is causing psychological distress in the exos that came with us. They've all described moments of intense hallucinogenic reverie. Some of them went silent and rigid and just stopped. Maya called it billboarding. Something from the early days of Clovis Bray's Exomind project. She doesn't seem afraid or surprised. She's convinced this thing, in her own words, she says,
We'll save you.
it'll be our salvation.
Fascinating. This corroborates what Nezarek said, that the Veil survived Savathun's escapade. This must have been the root of Savathun's betrayal, stalling the witness's plan to buy time to counter it.
So, she stole the Veil from Nezarek?
And killed him in doing so. It explains what happened to the lunar pyramid, why it's dormant.
Then what about the rest of this? What happened to the Exos? Is that what happened to all of them?
I have some theories, but it's too early. Regardless, it sounds like the Veil had an ill effect on Dr. Sandarish. We must be cautious. Hopefully the next log we decrypt will shed more light on this enigma.
Chioma Essie, research log, Exos. Maya and I have built a working theory around the deaths of our Exo crewmates after their exposure to the Veil. According to Maya, Exo minds contain a combination of Vex radiolaria and something known as clarity. Radiolaria are alien microorganisms living within a hive mind state. Or, I suppose more accurately, a community. Clarity is, Maya described it as a
paracausal power derived from an alien artifact. Something Braytech had kept secret. Something Maya...
Of course, I kept secret.
Maya thinks the Veil and this artifact are related. That the paracausal force from the Veil overloaded their exominds. Unraveled them. It's like taking a powerful magnet to an archaic magnetic storage device. Full erasure. But Maya... she thinks we can reverse engineer this phenomenon. Use it to write data to a clarity-infused object. Fabricate consciousness. Scientifically, the process seems sound, but morally... Maya keeps saying that we're past the point of morality. She said that. She's convinced that our survival hinges on mastery of the Veil. It's like she's the one unraveling. I feel like I'm losing her. But every time I try and push, I feel her move a little further away. I don't know if I can lose anything else. How much more can any of us lose before there's nothing left?
Nimbus, how much do you know about the Cloud Strider's creation? The technology used?
You don't think...
I make no assertions yet. But I worry that your neon-lit city may have darker roots than either of us knew.
Oh.
Chioma
Powered by the Veil.
Research log. SIVA. SIVA is a nanotech fabrication system, intended to be used by Exodus ships to rapidly build necessary resources from base matter. Maya calls it Willa Bray's obsession, without a hint of self-awareness. But we both see the potential it poses for the future. Each nanomachine in SIVA's design is an independent, thinking machine, utilizing a distributed quantum network to coordinate movement. Like a mechanical version of Radiolaria. Probably where the design was inspired from, if I'm being honest. But the design can be pushed. We're looking at ways of incorporating components from disabled Vex and erased exominds. If we can insulate the nanomachines from the radiation that killed the Exos, maybe their deaths won't be for nothing.
Wait. Does this really mean I'm part Vex?
Well, it's too early to jump to these conclusions, Nimbus. But there does seem to be some connection between the Vex and the Cloud Striders. It may explain why you and the others are able to enter the Vex network without the aid of splicers.
Can I time travel?
No, let's hope not.
Chioma Essie. Research log. Veil interface. Maya and I have finalized a prototype interface for the Veil. Hopefully it'll allow our research team to investigate it in detail. The system's designed like an orchestra, with a central conductor directing a symphony of minds to act like a distributed network. The idea came to us by watching how collective networks like SIVA and the Vex operate. The hope is we can aggregate and pass the vast amounts of psychic data emitting from the Veil, turn it into something intelligible. If we're successful, the interface will provide us with a starting point for any future technological research tied to the Veil. The risks of such integration are high. The estimated mortality rates are... But I don't know what I'm doing. This is wrong. This is so wrong. We shouldn't... All she ever talks about is survival. Think big picture. What about your survival? What about your heart? My heart? I can't keep doing this. I can't.
Again, I see a shadow of myself in Maya Sanderish. The man I could have become had I let obsession continue to rule me. I'm worried what the next recording will reveal.
Me too.
I don't think it's gonna be good.
Chioma SE. Research log.
I had to kill her.
Veil interface. Supplemental. They're all dead. Chorus. Conductor. Everyone. It was too much. Swept their minds away like grains of sand on a beach. They're all dead. Maya called it valuable data points. Wellsprings and rivers are something. What have I done?
Did this killed their entire research team, but it sounds like it's
like their lives held no value to Dr. Sunderish. There's a troubling symmetry with data we've recovered from Titan. Data on the origin of the Witness. It too was once multiple people that became conjoined by the way of some sort of ritual with a veil. Perhaps a conductor and a chorus. It is troubling that Dr. Sunderish seemed to be moving down that same path.
I don't like this, Osiris. I don't like this at all.
What is it like? That smiley face joke.
SE. Research log.
Maybe.
Lakshmi 2.
What?
Lakshmi?
Maya's. I don't even know what to say. I'd recused myself from further experiments. Told her to take some time off. She refused. And the minute I wasn't there, she started hauling the brain-dead exos out of cold storage, hooking them up to the Veil interface. She burned through dozens of them, reversed the entire machine's design. Used a chorus of brain-dead exos to funnel data down to the conductor seat.
You're gonna have to kill her.
Projecting a mental imprint. Hers. I didn't know Lakshmi too, but Maya did. And now she's made this thing. It speaks with her voice. Has some of her memories. The way it looks at me.
Haunting.
It's like it knows something I don't.
Osiris,
That mine's gonna kill you.
Recognize that name? Lakshmi?
Yeah.
Yes. And no. Lakshmi too was an exo and once leader of a faction on Earth known as the Future War Cult. She died over a year ago. But she never once made mention of any of this. Of Neomuna, of Maya. Did she know? Did she remember? This is all as much a revelation to me as it is to you. It throws everything she did while in the last city into question.
I mean, if she was a copy of Dr. Sunderish, then is she really dead?
I don't know. For now, I must deliver a rather uncomfortable report to Ikora.
Yep.
Chioma SE. Research log. The Veil. She did it. Maya connected people to the Veil. Our own scientists. And they survived. I should be happy, but... happy that all this horror wasn't for nothing. But I'm not. I'm disgusted. In myself, in Maya, in all of us. This thing, the Veil, it's some kind of web of consciousness. Just like the Vex network, but organic instead of artificial. It makes sense why the Vex want it. Paracausal simulations. There'd be no stopping them. I should be happy to be a part of history, to solve a cosmic riddle. Happy for Maya, happy for all of us. But I'm not. I don't feel anything. Maya is gone. The woman I knew.
Yep.
May as well have died when we landed on Neptune. But her ghost still haunts me. This place. I don't know what to do. There's a generation of children born here now. This is their home. I don't know what to do.
Damn. Osiris, this is... I don't know if I want to listen to this anymore.
Obsession is a beast with long, sharp talons. A beast that does not so easily release its prey. Maya Thunderish is but one victim.
That sounds like you're talking from experience.
Painfully so. But unlike Dr. Thunderish, I found a way out of the beast's grasp before it was too late.
How?
By losing.
Chioma Essie. Personal log. Incidental. Maya's dead. I found her in the conductor's chair. Alone. Nobody knows what she was doing. Her copy, that thing, Lakshmi, is still developmentally incomplete. It doesn't understand what happened to Maya. I had it quarantined until we do something.
There's no dates on any of these files. There's no telling how much time is set between them.
Time enough for loss. How many are left?
3 more.
Jesus. And let us hope there are yet more answers to uncover.
Chioma Essie. Log. Whatever. The war mind has reactivated. Our base on Hyperion detected network activity. They found us. Classified our location Nephili Stronghold. We already estimate that Rasputin has attempted remote interference with our network, our research. It can't. I won't let what we learned here ruin more lives. I'm going to send Stargazer off-world to deal with the problem. They can take Lakshmi with them and do whatever. As long as it's out of the city, out of my sight. It's a risk, taking an action off-world, exposing ourselves. But we have to. What we've done here has to be quarantined. The Veil is too much power. Too much for anyone.
Stargazer. That puts the time of this recording around the foundation of the Cloud Striders. Chioma must have been really old.
Stargazer is the one responsible for redacting Nephili's stronghold from Rasputin's records. Or Maya by proxy with Lakshmi. Fascinating. There's 2 more logs left. Once we've decrypted them, I will need to take time to contemplate the larger picture they present.
You and me both.
The Veil is too great a power for humanity to wield responsibly. All that's left is to close down the facility. Neomuna will go on. Humanity will persist. On the back of our unspeakable work. But I won't pass that guilt on to humanity's future. My hands can be bloodied. Let the children have innocence. And in my dissolution, I will find peace.
I don't know if I agree with Chioma's choice to hide the sins of the past. But I also do not know what I would do in her place.
Quinn says there's a data signature on this file like something else was crawling the network. Vex signature. What's M-Sund 12?
There's one log left to the crypt. Perhaps we'll find out.
Years ago, back on Venus, the Vex simulated copies of us, Maya and I, trapped in a virtual hell. After so long, even hell can look like heaven, can't it? I'm tired. I'm done.
You sound it.
Maya has to be out there. The Maya I remember. And all I want is one more moment with her. To hold her in my arms. Tell her that I love her. So she can tell me to hush one more time. If we learned anything from the Veil, it's that eventually we all have to learn to let go. So,
that's
I'm
what I'm doing.
in contact with the Vex.
She's letting go.
I'm ready. And it's time to say goodbye.
In the end, Maya Sandaresh was consumed by her desire to understand and her inability to let go. She and Chioma lost everything in pursuit of knowledge. Chioma abandoned it all, sought to wipe the slate clean for future generations.
What did we learn from all of this?
That the Veil is darkness, the power of consciousness made manifest, as much as the Traveler is the light, the power of the physical world. The implications are great, but so too are the risks. As a younger man, I may have fallen into the same trap Maya did. But now I know better. We must proceed with caution, lest the river sweeps us away.
We're part of the river. We are the river.
I found no more logs from Dr. Essie, but I have used her algorithm to crack the data core of the Vex conceptual mind.
That's the doodad we got from the Black Garden, right?
Indeed. The data within contained the Vex's blueprints for their artificial veil, the Black Heart. It all but proved Dr. Essie's theory. Dr. Essie theorized that the paracausal energy of the Traveler operated on a quantum wavelength parallel to electrons.
Magnets?
In simpler terms, the Traveler's power runs parallel to the forces of nature. Gravity, magnetism, sound, light. The Veil does this too. It is synchronized with the Traveler. Wherever the Traveler came from, the Veil may have as well. But what the Vex made, while connected to the Traveler, was inherently flawed. It did not create the link the Witness desired. Instead, it weakened the Traveler, created static in the flow of their cosmic forces. But it did reveal one intriguing possibility. That at one time, they may have been united. Part of a whole.
So, wait. Does this mean the light and darkness were the same once? One force?
Yep.
Dr. Essie believed so. I am not as convinced. But it is a theory. One many scholars will explore once this data is shared.
Let's split it up then.
But this data allowed me to calculate the telemetry of the beam the Veil fired at the Traveler. When the Witness linked to the Veil through a ghost, it created a faster-than-light connection of darkness to the Traveler's light. A bridge to the Traveler's consciousness, if it has one. But the beam did not stop at the Traveler. Rather, a point inside of it.
Inside? Wait, what's inside the Traveler?
No one knows. But if the data I've been able to extrapolate here is correct, that is where the Witness is now. inside the Traveler. It may be the reason why the Traveler has gone dormant, its attention directed inward, where the true threat is. But I am speculating. There is more I need to study, but I fear it will take a substantially longer amount of time.
How long do you need?
Months. If we have that long left, that is. Until then, I suppose.
See you in a couple months, Osiris.
I've reached the extent of what I can glean from the research data.
What do we got?
Less than I've hoped for. But the last of Chioma Esi's research has led me to an intriguing topic. Ghosts.
Ghosts? As far as I know, Neomuna never had any contact with a ghost before you all showed up. We knew about them, but...
Precisely. Chioma Esi was researching the entanglement of light and dark without fully understanding either. Our ghosts are a link to the light of the Traveler. Then how was the witness able to, on numerous occasions, communicate through them?
Is this about the magnets thing? The parallel energy fields, right?
Very good. In areas of darkness, the witness is able to create a link, not unlike what it created with the Veil and the Traveler.
Ah, like the Vex are able to hack into the Cloud Ark with their tech. It's a parallel connection.
And I believe that connection may not be one-sided. I believe that our ghosts may be able to leverage this connection against it.
Turn the enemy's weapon against them. Well, that sounds great. But how?
That I do not know. But what I do know is that while the witness is out of our reach, it is also out of the reach of our ghosts. Which means whatever lies beyond that portal, whatever is inside the Traveler, has left the witness blind to our actions.
And given us an opportunity to make a plan without it knowing.
Precisely. The witness has played all the pieces it can. This is its final act, win or lose. Whatever we do from here determines the fate of everything.
No pressure.
Exactly.
You've arrived. Good. I'm glad my messages reached you. I considered you might leave me here to rot, but we both know you Guardians can't resist unanswered questions. Or a challenge. These sensations. The tingle in my fingertips. This power is familiar yet different. Oh, it's invigorating. If I had a modicum of my original power, I'd have killed one or three of those citizens to expedite your arrival. Instead, I suffer from the incompetence of these new recruits. I can hear the shifting roots across the pyramid's architecture. Taste the paracausality on my tongue. Progress. After that witch killed me and cursed my remains, I assume that's when she whisked away the veil to Neptune, the coveted key to the witness's plans, and the sapid secret of its first victims. As much as I loathe her, I must applaud her efforts.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do with Sabaton.
As I've gathered, there was barely anything left of me for the witness to correct?
You can hate her, but you gotta respect her.
Has anyone suffered from the pieces they took? I wonder if I can track them down. Do you happen to know who took them?
Oh, a lot of deaths.
Consider the information reparations for my untimely death. Light bearers have always seemed efficient at creating their own chaos. Your warlords did a masterful job of that. Do you enjoy hearing the final screams of your enemies? Screams are the most delicious when they're wrenched directly from the throat. An echo that reverberates through eternity. Oh, beautiful. Tear that useless sack of meat apart from me, won't you? He hasn't accomplished nearly as much as you in your short time here. Such tenacious adventurers. It's fascinating to see the lengths you'll go to reach your goals. Emissaries of pain and death. It's inspiring. I have been trapped for a very long time. Such a cruel fate for simply fulfilling my duties. Don't you think? Free me. I want to experience this world with my new perspective.
I'm gonna free you just to kill you.
Oh, a shame we can't entertain our one-sided conversations further.
Looks pretty badass.
Feels too good. Guardian, let me devour your fear.
Turn into a tree.
My memory will never extinguish. In your calmest moments, your deepest slumber,
I'll be there.
You will remember me, Guardian.
While our attention was drawn to Neptune, something wicked stirred in the Witness's pyramid. A life force thought to be lost, unknowingly revived by the Traveler's terraforming power. Its defensive display forever imprinted upon the vessel. The infamous final god of pain sought to use this paracausal power for his own curiosities. But it proved to be his final mistake. The people of Neomuna may now be free of Nazarek's influence, but the Cabal and Vex remain at their doorstep. Though an unanswerable question remains on all our minds. Where has the Witness gone? We must begin our search in the pieces it has left behind. It will not succeed for as long as we remain in existence.
It's gonna eat the Traveler. Well, I'm glad we finally got some Nezarec and we got to see him. Looked pretty cool. Also, like a lot of crazy sort of, I don't know, lore bombs or whatever, but like twists in there, like Lakshmi, her origin story, kind of getting that, like something that even surprised Osiris. So it wasn't like super action heavy, this one, but it was just like a ton of information.
Yeah, and I really have to applaud the voice actress for Chioma Essie, because even just the way that she introduced each video log, like you could feel the emotional weight of whatever she was going through as she was imparting onto others via these logs what she had witnessed firsthand. And the whole like killing of her entire scientific crew. And then what's her name? Like really not caring all that much.
Yeah.
Like suddenly their lives were not of value. Yeah, just some dark stuff.
And the witness going inside the Traveler, and the Traveler being dormant, which we were told that, like, because we thought the witness had died, or no, the Traveler had died from the witness, but then people told us that, no, it's like the witness is, like, the Traveler's just dormant right now. And so we got a little bit more information about that and the witness being inside. And yeah, now the witness can't spy on us, but, like, it's probably because it doesn't think that we're a threat anymore. It's got what it wants and thinks that this is, as Osiris put it, like, this was his end game, and this is the witness want it and thinks that this is all it needs to win. Witness shouldn't doubt us, though.
I also love the idea of, like, as Osiris and Nimbus are talking, the sort of, like, mind-blowing connection that the veil and the light were at one time joined.
Mm-hmm.
And Osiris talks about, like, you know, like, so at one time there was essentially a vessel that was wielding both light and the veil and the darkness. And I was sitting here, I was just like, that's not that mind-blowing. That's people. Like, we are vessels of incredible good and light, and we are also vessels of incredible evil and cruelty and darkness. So I was like, this isn't that mind-blowing. This is just, like, taking humans and, like, projecting them into the sci-fi world.
Well, plus also, like, we learned that, you know, Traveler or whatever is the physical manifestation of everything, and, like, then, like, the darkness, whatever, the veil is the emotional,
the consciousness.
Yeah, the consciousness. And so was that like, I don't know, a deity, like this world's like God or whatever. A lot to unpack there. Which brings up just a lot more questions, really.
Always questions.
As far as what's going on here, and what the goal is of each, like, to destroy the other one, or to, like, come back together. Like, who broke up with who in this one? That's what I like to know.
Who's the jilted lover?
Yeah, exactly. So if you want early ad-free access for our Destiny journey, then check out Patreon. Links in the description of this video. You can go to patreon.com/DefiniteNotDefinitive. If you want early access, then just, hit the little join button down below. You can get that right here on our membership for YouTube.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching Destiny with us, but you keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.